Welcome, everybody. We are live once again. Welcome to episode 12 of the Super Grapple Bros podcast. I am one of your hosts, Murpho. I am joined with
DMurph.
And we are a podcast about two brothers who were former WWE employees that love video games and this other thing called wrestling. Because the company we work for did wrestling. That old chestnut, that kind of thing.
Little underground thing people follow.
Yes. Anyway,
of the lucha variety.
This is episode 12, titled A Historic Screw-Up because of Money in the Bank.
Yep.
But the main Money in the Bank ladder match caused a huge controversy, but it's not the only controversy. We've got our own little controversy going on over this little predictions championship.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
Rules
and we're going to get to the bottom
clear.
of it. We're going to get to the... No, the rules are not very clear.
Well, I'm saying rules of the prediction championship are very clear.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not. I would have won. I had more right predictions.
You had no right predictions.
Yes, I had more right predictions.
No, because you had one prediction that was wrong, and according to the referee, I was right. And you had another prediction for a match that never even occurred.
We will get into it, and I will make my case
for a
once we're finished talking about Money in the Bank. But anyway, like we said, Money in the Bank proper itself got kind of ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Probably one of the worst booking decisions I've ever seen in my life from a wrestling promotion. Ever.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Really bad. Really, really bad.
A lot of the show was really bad.
Anyway, we're going to start things off. The pre-show was not Breezango versus the Colognes. It was, in fact, the Hype Bros versus the Colognes. Not the Hype Bros are back. Hype Bros won that match. Pretty standard fare, predictable. Hype Bros are back. They're more exciting than the Colognes, so they should go over.
I didn't get to see that, but I'm not surprised, seeing as how Zack Ryder just made his return this week on SmackDown.
Will you know it, bro?
I had known that was going to be the match, and I had known that, the Hype Bros were going to be involved in the match. I would have gone for them.
I'm hearing excuses for why I should have that championship. But
we'll
get to it later.
Are you talking about how you're talking about a match that was not on the card?
We will get to it later. Let's go through these matches. Then we kicked things off in the worst way possible, and this is probably what we're going to talk most about when we talk about Money in the Bank. The women's Money in the Bank, the first women's Money in the Bank match in history between Becky Lynch, Charlotte, Natalya, Carmella, and Tamina. I don't believe I'm forgetting anybody there.
Carmella, Tamina, Natalya,
Becky, and Charlotte. Yep, that's fine.
Yeah.
Was not won by a woman. It was won by a man.
It was technically won by a woman, but it was because of a man, which is very, very sexist. That the very first ever women's Money in the Bank match was decided by a man, which is kind of fucked up.
It was won by a man. All Money in the Bank matches up until this point. The point is, and I don't care what they technically stated the rules are, when you retrieve the briefcase, retrieving the briefcase means going up there and physically unhooking it yourself. Yes, I don't care what you say.
No, I just want to point out that back when they first started the Money in the Bank match, this is one thing that I've noticed, which is why I'm saying it has a little bit of a case, is back when they first would go on about the Money in the Bank match when it first started, they would always say the first person to climb the ladder and retrieve the briefcase. But in the last 2 years, they've just been saying the first person to retrieve the briefcase.
Yeah, well, that's the point. It's supposed to be the first participant in the match to go and get the briefcase, to actually unhook it and bring it down. That's why they booked it, so that way whenever outside help happens, they help the person up the ladder and help the person retrieve it. They don't go up and get it for them. And this is the first time ever in a Money in the Bank match that somebody outside the match went up and got the briefcase, and it had to happen in the first women's Money in the Bank match, and it happened to be not another female superstar, but a male superstar helping him out and doing it.
Well, the jury's out on that part.
I look at that imagery, and I saw James Ellsworth go up there at the end, and the match, we'll get to the match itself, but I saw James Ellsworth climbing up there. I'm like, oh, this is good. This is a good tease. Somebody's going to come up and dump him off. He's going to take a big bump, and it's a good tease. It'll be entertaining. The match is going to keep going, and then he kept going up. Nobody came in the ring, and I'm like, they're not going to do this. They're not going to do it. And then he unhooked the briefcase, literally held it and looked at it at the top of the ladder, and then dropped it to Carmella. And then the bell rang. That is your image. That is your image for the first ever Money in the Bank ladder match for women. Is James Ellsworth standing at the top of the ladder holding the briefcase and unhooking the briefcase.
Yep.
that is offensive. Like if I was a female WWE fan, I would stop watching. Like I would be very tempted to stop watching. I've seen people who are, I mean, you are a father of 2 little girls.
Yep.
But I know of I've seen tweets of fathers who watched that with their little girls and turned off the pay-per-view after that moment.
I don't blame them. Yeah,
and said, "We are done. We are never watching WWE again."
I also want to point out that this happened not long after they did the whole thing of Bayley going on about how she saw Wonder Woman and was inspired and talking about inspiring little girls out there and everything. And then the first big, match that they do with the women after that, it's a man that climbs the ladder, not a woman. Like, just think about that symbology there.
Yeah, wanna go somewhere as a woman? Too bad. You need a man to help you or to do it for you.
Yeah.
That's the message when we look back at this 10, 15, 20 years now. That's what we're going to look back on this. Not was it good for the story, or did it fit Carmella's character, or did it fit James Ellsworth's character for them to do that? No, we're going to look at it in the larger context in the future.
And one thing I want to point out to go along with that, I know it's kind of jumping pretty far ahead, but SmackDown Live. Daniel Bryan came back and made his decision of, I don't like the way that went down.
Let's get to that when we get there, because that's a whole nother discussion in and of itself.
Well, the thing I'm pointing out with that is just that the end of this match was because of a man. And now everything is being changed and being taken away from the woman that happened to win by a man. And it's a man caused the end of the match, and now a man is taking control of the situation, showing that, the women couldn't win this match, and then they can't handle the aftermath, so another man has to come in and take care of it.
Women are powerless, basically, in this whole situation. It's
the only thing that I liked about it is that JBL, the only person on commentary who was a wrestler, and then again on Raw, Booker T, the only person on the commentary team that is a wrestler, pointed out that, the rules of the match is whoever retrieves the briefcase first wins the match. And yes, James Ellsworth grabbed it and he gave it to Carmella, but Carmella was the first person to get the briefcase, the first woman to get the briefcase. The referee made the decision to call it. There's no disqualifications. You can't break a rule that doesn't exist. So by that, while you may not like it, Carmella is the one who won the match. And I liked how everyone was arguing about it, but they just kept going of like, listen, we were wrestlers. We don't like the decision either. But that's what we've gotten to come used to.
That's a kayfabe excuse.
I know, I understand, but I'm saying I like how they're going into their character of being the wrestlers. We don't like it, but the referee's decision stands.
I understand that. My point is, it should have never been there to begin with.
Oh, I agree.
The decision to let James Ellsworth go up that ladder and unhook that briefcase and literally hand it to a woman. That a man had to go up and do it for his woman and hand it to his woman because his woman couldn't do it on her own. That is a horrible message to send.
No, I agree with that. I'm saying the only thing that I liked about it all is how they handled the situation. Because I feel like if JBL didn't keep his cool and think in that process, it would have even had all 3 of the announcers just crapping on it, and that would have made it look even worse. And I'm just saying that's the only thing I liked is how he
I'm sure some of them got
it.
Messages from the back telling them what to do or to be prepared for that.
Like I said, that's the only thing I liked about it is how the announcers handled the situation. Other than that, I thought it was terrible.
I understand there are people who said, well, Carmella's a heel, and this is how a heel would win. And it's like,
well, a heel could win by James Ellsworth tipping the ladder and then Carmella herself climbing and grabbing the briefcase.
Well, I mean, that technically has the whole she was helped by a man argument too.
Yeah.
But what I'm thinking of is, Ellsworth could have tried it, which is a heel tactic, and it could have failed. Carmella also could have done something really illegal, like maybe introduced a weapon that isn't traditionally used, like
that's not even once again, that's not illegal though.
Well, that's my point, but my point is it's a heel thing to do.
No, I agree.
Like she could have done something ridiculous. She could have slapped somebody in the face or something, or maybe exposed a turnbuckle. Yeah, like thrown Ellsworth into somebody, used one of the tables or something, or
like think about this: Becky is climbing the ladder. Ellsworth is in there trying to get Carmella up, starts to get her up, and then Carmella throws Ellsworth into Becky, knocking her off the ladder, and then climbs up after that, because then...
Yeah, exactly.
It would have been better. It's her doing a heel tactic. She's still using Ellsworth to win, but he's not the one behind it.
I think, if you wanted Carmella to win, you could have had, the interference of a Ellsworth earlier on in the match, when it's not the decisive finish get involved like he did, and to not be involved in the finish, in which case you could say, well, yeah, she needed a man's help in order to win the match, but technically it's like
she still did it on her own,
she
though.
still went and got the briefcase on her own, and Ellsworth's interference in that exact moment didn't lead to her winning the match. It just allowed the match to continue, and then you get into the old sports thing of like, well, you know, cause and effect, butterfly effect, that kind of thing. Like, so many various different things could have happened, kayfabe-wise, where like there's no guarantee that would have led to Carmella winning, and yet you still get that Ellsworth stuff in, you still get that heel stuff in.
Yeah,
it's just
annoying.
It was the worst. Like, I had no problem with Carmella winning. I had no problem with Ellsworth helping her in some manner. But for him to literally go up there and take the briefcase for her, basically winning the match for her.
Yeah. I think the thing that bothers me the most about it is the first ever women's Money in the Bank match, and you have the imagery of a man climbing the ranks, going up rung by rung, climbing that corporate ladder to win the prize.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then we'll get more into this where on SmackDown Live and their attempts to like remedy and like put a band-aid on the situation. But it was
Ryback.
What's up, big stupid Ryback? What up, man? But yeah, like it was one of the worst things I've ever seen happen in WWE.
Yeah, it was one of the worst decisions. But I just want to point out that the referee's decision was Carmella's being the winner. Which
I understand the referee's call. I'm not arguing the referee's decision on the match.
I'm talking about it with this.
That's a whole different thing that we will get into when we're done talking about the event. Because we don't have a referee. Technically, I'm the referee. We are collectively the referee. So there's really no way to...
Ding, ding, ding. This referee calls the bell.
No, because I'm asking for a conference afterwards, and I am disputing it, and I am asking for a... whatever.
If you can't play by the rules, get out the game.
Anyway, just bad decision for the Money in the Bank women's match, and it's gonna forever taint.
And another thing that bothered me,
this moment,
it wasn't even that exciting of a match.
It looked like it was getting somewhere.
Like
at first, it just started getting exciting.
Like the main person who was exciting in it was Tamina. She was
destroying people. Yeah,
but
Charlotte also did a cool springboard moonsault.
Yeah.
Also.
True, yeah.
And, like, it just seemed like the match was starting to get exciting. And then the Ellsworth stuff happened and ended. Yeah. And like, that just
sucked the air out of the building.
And that hurt the next match that happened. Mm-hmm. Which, I don't understand why. This match is getting a lot of hate from what I've seen online. But I actually really liked this match. This was, like, my second favorite match of the night. The tag match between the Usos and the New Day. I think it told a great story.
I don't think it was the worst match of the night. I think it was second or third worst match of the night, though.
Really?
Yeah.
I really liked it because the way that the match happened
That's not saying it's bad, but...
Yeah.
I just found the other, like, at least two other matches on the card better and more exciting.
Okay. Because the way that the match went is that the Usos did not take the New Day seriously at first.
I thought you were still talking about the Women's Money in the Bank match. No,
New Day. I'm talking about New Day Usos. We've moved on.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
New Day in the Bank ladder match.
Definitely second favorite match of the night.
Yeah. That's my second favorite match of the night, the tag title match. I think that the story that they told in that match was great.
They're all so good.
They're all such good dudes, and they all work so well off one another because they're such good friends in the back. And Jimmy and Jay at the beginning, I loved how they were picking apart the New Day. They were showing their more brutal edge, showing like, we've stepped our game up. We're at the next level. You can't compete with us anymore. And just toying with the New Day.
So penitentiary.
Mm-hmm. Isolating Kofi, working his knee.
That's one of the things
selling it.
I loved about this is the classic tag team wrestling of cutting the ring in half.
Yep.
I get sick of seeing these matches where it's just, people randomly fighting in the ring and they happen to get attacked before. I like seeing tag teams work as tag teams. That's one of the reasons I love the Revival, and that's one of the reasons I love this match, because the Usos were doing so good at cutting the ring in half and taking control.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and like Big Stupid said, there were plenty of false finishes in that match, which were great.
I absolutely loved when they hit the midnight hour, and I think it was Jay. And Jimmy pulled him out of the ring. That was right at the actual fit. There were moments where I'm like, I think this is it. No, I think this is it. Like, yeah,
because I was like, I like
the New Day, but I want to see
when one of the Usos went for the big splash on Kofi, and Big E caught him. I mean, even though he didn't catch him perfectly, that was still really cool. Yeah. Right into a big ending. That was cool. And then didn't one of the Usos go for a super kick on Kofi? He ducked it and hit the Trouble in Paradise.
Either he ducked it or they went to do it and he hit them with it when they went to do the move or something like that. I also liked how they tried doing the finish that they did to like American Alpha and stuff of taking out the leg and then putting in that grapevine leg submission and everything.
Yep.
I loved how they did all that, but one of the reasons I love this match is because now this elevates their tag team division to a whole other level that they went through all of that
came
and
out
still
looking
didn't have
like
a clean finish.
They both came out looking like gold,
Mm-hmm.
and that ending, like a lot of people don't feel good about that ending, but you know what? It perfectly captured the entire story of that match. And the entire story of that match was the Usos believed, since they were running roughshod on everybody, that they were on a different level now than the New Day ever possibly could, and thus
like
the New Day,
level.
On the Neville level,
yeah,
that they felt that New Day couldn't touch them. But New Day showed the resiliency, kept their composure, kept their attitude, and kept fighting. And then the second the Usos realized they might not have control of this match or control of this rivalry, and the New Day might actually have a chance in beating them, which is when believe it was Jimmy pulled Jay out from the Midnight Hour. They were like, they suddenly had that moment of realization. You could see it on their faces while they were selling it. They were like, we might actually be in trouble. Yeah. And they got out of there. They left. Like true heels, they were like, we've bitten off more than we can chew. We have underestimated these guys. We're getting out of here. We're not losing tonight.
And I also love it because of the fact that they, on SmackDown, have been going on about how SmackDown grabbed the one tag team in WWE who has been together for a while and are multiple time tag champions, probably the most veteran and like prestigious tag team in WWE. And they showed it that they have this veteran knowledge and everything by being like, you know what? We don't have to beat them. We've got championship advantage. We can just walk out now with our titles and don't have to worry about a damn thing. Mm-hmm. And I love seeing psychology with shit like that.
Yeah. And this allows the rivalry to continue. Like we both said in our prediction last week, we predicted that this was going to end with the Usos winning, potentially under screwy means to keep the rivalry going. Because these two teams are gold together, and they should not be a one-off, one-month program. This is going to roll straight through into SummerSlam.
They're all so good in the ring. They're all so good on the mic. It's just perfect. Mm-hmm. The only thing that upsets me about it is now we're going to have to wait a little longer to see other tag teams get involved in the mix. But, hey, at the same time, I don't really mind.
Yeah. Then we had Naomi versus Lana.
Yep.
Which was, Lana did okay for a second match ever.
Yeah, she
did.
The
ending of that match was so hurt my head. Because Carmella comes down, teases that she's gonna win the briefcase, or that she's gonna cash in. She's seen Daniel Bryan's tweet at this point. She like I'm thinking kayfabe wise. She sees Daniel Bryan's tweet. She knows how upset people are. She knows that there is a chance that she might have to surrender the briefcase, or he might strip it from her. Why not cash in right then and there before they have a chance to strip her?
I don't know.
Instead, she does the arrogant heel thing. Like, no, I'm not going to do it today. What it makes me think is that they were going to have Carmella, hold on to the briefcase and cut the promo that she did on SmackDown and not strip her, and that was the original plan. And then they realized what a big mistake they made with the actual way that the finish turned out, and they had to call an audible.
Yeah, I could see, just a quick prediction, kind of. I could see the result of what they said on SmackDown Live being James Ellsworth tries to get involved again, and like Daniel Bryan or someone coming in and stopping that, and that still giving Carmella an advantage to win the match and still have the briefcase, which is, in my opinion, kind of ridiculous because I think they're just doing that as a way to try and draw ratings to SmackDown Live. But the way they're going about it is taking ratings away from SmackDown Live.
Yeah, and like another thing that they could have done is if they did the whole James Ellsworth thing, why couldn't Shane McMahon have... They said Shane wasn't there, but why couldn't they have Shane McMahon or maybe Shane and Daniel Bryan if we knew they were both not going to be at their own pay-per-view? You know, the GM and the commissioner, which makes no damn sense for their own show. Why not appoint somebody to be an authority figure for that night? And why didn't that authority figure come out and say, no, it's not ending this way, restart the match?
Yeah.
Still get that heel heat.
Because SmackDown's starting to go down the tubes.
Yeah, they were unprepared for the backlash. Yeah, it's exactly that, Big Stupid. And the other big thing that bothered me about this match, like the match itself given Lana's experience, which is practically none, like actually like on camera in the ring, given her experience, like the match was okay, but they had her kick out of the rear view, which is one of Naomi's finishers.
Yeah.
Why? She is the champion
anymore.
I know. Yeah. Well, she's got the new submission finisher, but it's one of them. Like if it's Lana's second match.
I thought she had like similar to like she had two finishers. One was a submission, and one was basically Xavier Woods' Lost in the Woods thing, where it's just you put your boot on their face and drop down, and they hit into it.
The soul food.
Yeah, I thought those were her finishers. And that the rear view used to be hers and isn't anymore. Well, it's a signature now.
I guess, but like I saw that still as her finisher because I hadn't seen
I
make that transition. So I'm like, why you're making her kick out of her finisher in her second match when you're trying? Yeah. When she's clearly not prepared or at the point yet to be putting on these kinds of matches or being or like
she should have been sent to NXT.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, she didn't do terrible. Yeah, hey, what's up? She didn't do terrible in her first match, but she also was barely able to do basic stuff in her first match. Like, she didn't do anything extraordinary, and she was barely able to do the stuff that she did, and it was all, like, your basic level stuff. Why are you throwing her her second match in a title match when she clearly needs more work?
And another thing is she hit her finisher. Lana hit her finisher that they were teasing all week, and then Naomi kicked out.
Yeah. It was just a badly booked
match. So my thought was like, what are you doing? You have her kick out of the out of the rear view.
Bad anyway.
Yeah, which looked terrible. Well, Naomi didn't really give Lana enough space to react and bump, and then she didn't bump it that great.
Well, what I mean is the Lana's finisher.
Oh, yeah.
It's, I'm going to get you in a hammerlock and pick you up and give you a spine buster, but let go of the hammerlock and you're just going to do this awkward spine buster.
Apparently, Lana was wrestling in an NXT live event, just not on camera.
Okay, well, she should have spent more time down there.
Clearly. Like, I just don't understand that logic, because it's like, if you're trying to build up Lana to be a legitimate contender, don't have her hit the finisher, because you need to have the champion kick out. So, like, why?
The reason why is because of the fact that they had literally everyone else in the division in the Money in the Bank match, and they needed something for the champion to do that night.
Oh, no, I understand that. And like,
I know, but I'm saying for the match itself, for a reason, but that is the reason, is they had nothing else to do.
I understand the reason. I understand the outcome. I understand the quality of the match. What I don't understand is why have Naomi kick out of Lana's finisher if you're trying to make Lana out to be this big thing, and why are you having Lana kick out of Naomi's old finisher like it's nothing. It doesn't make anybody look good.
Because whoever the agent behind the match was clearly wasn't thinking right.
I guess so.
It was just
another thing where, like,
with a poorly put together story.
The women's division, and we'll get to it, and there's another reason why I'll get touch base on this point again, is the women's division looked so good going into Money in the Bank, and now it looks terrible.
SmackDown Live, women's division, tag team division. Whoop! This is what's happened with this pay-per-view.
Pretty much. So, and then I'll touch on the other thing that happened. Maria's back. Maria Kanellis.
Oh, yeah.
Which is...
And Mike Kanellis.
Awesome. With Mike Kanellis, a.k.a. Mike Bennett. It's kind of interesting they're going straight to the main roster, but it is cool because I did like Maria when she was back in...
Here's one thing I find funny, though. They did that crap with the women's Money in the Bank match of, a man winning the match, everything.
This is my point.
They have Mike Bennett come in, and JBL's only comment on it is, he took her name?
Yeah.
Who the hell cares?
Yeah. No, there was not just that, but like...
Get into the modern day, JBL.
not just that, but like... The whole point of that promo was Maria said, I left WWE to find a husband.
Yep.
And now that I've found a husband and am so much in love,
I
am
found
back.
A partner.
Still. It's like she left for love.
Yeah.
Like... You could not have stereotyped and demeaned demeaned women worse unless you were blatantly trying to do it at this show, I think.
Yeah.
Like it was just a perfect storm of just bad ideas. The outcome of the Money in the Bank match, at least in the women's championship match, that wasn't so much a like demeaning women as in just it did not make either superstar look good. And then you have the Maria thing where it's like, The gimmick is cool.
Yeah,
like I like the gimmick.
I'm excited to see.
I like that they're back
here.
both in there, but it was just poor timing to debut them on the heels of what happened in Money in the Bank earlier that
exactly.
day. And then of course JBL's comment didn't make it any better. I was like, you got to be kidding me! Like I feel like we're back in the Attitude Era with the way that like the women were being treated. I was like, you got to be kidding me!
Yeah, it almost makes it seem like the next women's title match is going to be a bra and panties match.
Yeah.
But anyway,
moving on, we had Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. Jinder Mahal retained.
Mm-hmm.
It was an okay match.
Kerfuffle with some legends, including Cowboy Bob Orton
and Ric Flair,
inventor of the Superplex.
I'll get to this eventually. I'll get to the whole Cowboy Bob Orton and Ric Flair thing because I've got a little bit of a gripe with that, just a little bit. It was an okay match. It was by far Jinder Mahal's best match he's ever had, and it shows that he can capably have a decent match. But was it like a oh my god, this is a heated rivalry? They're beating the hell out of each other match? No, this was not like a next level match. This was a good match.
And
an okay match for a pay-per-view. Okay match for a title. But like this would be a really good match on a weekly SmackDown match. On a weekly SmackDown.
It'd be
for
good
a pay-per-view, it's just okay.
For a SmackDown, for a pay-per-view for the WWE Championship, I think it was subpar for that caliber, but as a match itself, it was good. But I feel like the title and it being at a pay-per-view, it deserves a better match than that. Not saying it was a bad match, but I mean, if you're going for a match for the top title, you want to go out and at least try to be bigger than the other matches. But
and the one thing that really killed it for me, like I was like, okay, this is a good match. Like I was like, this is a good match. It's making Jinder look good. It'll help him look better as a champion. And then they ended the match the exact same way they ended the first match.
Yeah.
Basically, it was a paint-by-numbers ending that copied the last one. Singh brothers get involved. Randy Orton kills the Singh brothers. Randy Orton rolls back in. And because of the Singh brothers distraction, Mahal hits a Colossus out of nowhere and wins.
But I mean, I can somewhat understand that because I mean, that's been the whole thing of Mahal's character to this point is he's gotten to where he is by help from the Singh brothers. He won the match to become number one contender because of the Singh brothers. He won the title because of the Singh brothers. It only makes sense for him to be able to hold on to the title because of the Singh brothers. It might not be what we would like to see, but it's just going along with the logic of the storyline and the character.
Which is fine, but you had them help him win in almost the exact same way as last month.
Miz and Maurice.
I don't see
when the Miz had his rivalry with Dolph Ziggler for the Intercontinental Championship. They had 5-6 matches against each other, and almost every single match, Maurice at least attempted, if not successfully used, that spray perfume bottle stuff in Dolph Ziggler's face. It happens a lot where you see them win one way because they know that's how they can win. It's not a great thing, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. With the whole Miz Dean Ambrose thing, Miz
I feel like Dolph Ziggler. I was
Miz and Dolph Ziggler thing. They didn't do it the exact same way though.
2 pay-per-views in a row. Yeah, they did the exact.
Well, then that's dumb too.
I agree, but I'm just saying
that's
what happens in WWE.
That's not good. That's not good. And then the other thing I had with that is when the Singh brothers went to go drag Cowboy Bob Orton out, Ric Flair was just standing there I'm gonna, that's not Ric Flair's character. Even though Ric Flair is pushing 70, Ric Flair, no matter what age he is, would sock those kids on the jaw.
Mm-hmm.
Ric Flair wouldn't just stand there. Let Ric Flair throw a punch, let one Singh brother sell it, and then let the other Singh brother hit Ric Flair. Rick can fall down if he really wants to. He can blade himself again, so that way he can bleed, because we all know how much Ric Flair loves to do that.
Yeah, but they're not going to do that because then...
That was a joke.
No, but I'm saying with Ric Flair in general doing anything, they're not going to do that because then what's the need of Randy Orton having to stop the Singh brothers and then him still being cost the match? If there's that many Hall of Famers on the side of the ring and at least one of them
is Hall of Famers. The other guys were regular friends of Cowboy Bob Orton.
They weren't all Hall of Famers, but they're all well-known wrestlers from way back in the day. I mean, you had what's his name? You had Kurt Hennig's father there. Larry Hennig.
Oh, really?
Lenny,
Really?
Lenny,
The Anvil.
yeah, no, the Axe.
The Axe, yeah, the Axe. Larry the Axe Hennig.
They had him and a bunch of other people there, all of them well-known wrestlers from back in the day, all just sitting there. And if you're going to have at least, well, first off, if you're going to have one of them do something, all of them might as well do something. And also, if even one of them is going to defend themselves, they're legendary wrestlers. Why would Randy Orton need to get involved and help out at that point? It was supposed to be, they're all there, but they're all too old to do anything anymore.
Well, that doesn't matter. Like, the point to
Let's
me
just move on, because I agree, but it was dumb.
Yeah, that's my point. It was stupid that they ended it almost the exact same way. All they did was sprinkle in some Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
That was pretty much it. And, like, that's lazy to me.
I agree.
Like, try to be more creative. Try to find a way to involve the Singh brothers to help him retain his championship in a better way.
I agree, but...
and then we're going to finish up Money in the Bank with the actual main Money in the Bank ladder match, which might very well be, despite this event not being that good, this is very good. One of the best matches of the entire year to date, I think.
Yeah.
Everybody looked like gold. Nobody looked good in this match. It elevated everybody.
Yeah, the only match I could think of that I probably enjoyed more so far in 2017 is the UK Championship match between Dunn and Bate.
I think that, and then another match that we'll talk about that's not WWE related after we go over all this stuff real quick. Corbin, the right guy, won. I felt like we both picked Corbin. I feel like Corbin needs that briefcase. I think that's going to help him get to the next level. He's been improving so much since he came to the main roster. Mm-hmm. So much. He's really fallen into his character. And he is just... That is the thing that's going to catapult him to the next level, and I think he deserves it.
The only other person I could see who really would have needed that win if it wasn't going to be Corbin would probably have been Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Because, everyone else, AJ Styles, he could go back and do his rivalry with Kevin Owens because that never really finished out.
Owens is the U.S. champion. Nakamura is Nakamura. He's kind of above the Money in the Bank ladder. Money in the Bank briefcase at this point.
He just came into SmackDown Live. He's got plenty of time. Ziggler, he's been around for a while. He's a former world champion. But he doesn't need the win. And
he's also floundering around at this point.
He's floundering around at this point, but he's been having good rivalries.
I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying his character at this point, like, having the Money in the I feel like having him win the Money in the Bank would have hurt the Money in the Bank instead of elevated him.
I don't know, just because of the fact that that's another thing I want to point out that I like is that JBL did again, is with going to the match, he stated his favorite to win the match was Dolph Ziggler because he's had more experience in that match than all the other competitors combined, and the only one in that match also to have ever won the Money in the Bank before, which I like, and because they're bringing up his history, which they don't do too often.
We touched on Ziggler floundering. This match reminded you that Ziggler can still go.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Ziggler looked like I said, everybody looked like old. Ziggler looked great. Like, I think one of my favorite parts of the entire match involves Ziggler. When Ziggler pulled the ladder out from under AJ Styles, and then he sat in the corner and watched AJ struggle and fall, and kill himself. And he did it because he knew it was going to happen, and he just sat there and enjoyed it like a sick, sadistic heel. I freaking loved that.
Not even that.
So good.
I even saw it as just I did that. The rest is going to take care of himself. I don't need to exhaust any more energy on this. I'll just wait it out.
And the smile he had. Oh, my God. Oh, so good.
But that reminds me of something else I want to bring up. One of my favorite things that I've seen come out of Money in the Bank is a meme of AJ Styles hanging from that briefcase and it just saying the floor is TNA.
Yep, I saw that. That is hilarious. Great. And then the other big thing to come out of that, aside from everybody looking like gold and Corbin the right guy winning, AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. If that is not for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania, I'm going to be upset. What was it? Simon on What Culture said this week, that is the match. That is the match that everybody wants to see. Like, that crowd erupted the moment they realized that the two of those men were in the ring alone together. Because if you have seen them battle at Wrestle Kingdom 9, I believe it was, they tore the damn house down. It was one of the stiffest, hardest hitting matches I've ever seen in my life. It is what made me be like, not just AJ Styles, but Shinsuke Nakamura have both got to get to WWE because they are amazing. Yep. And now they're both here. We saw them just beat that. And you saw like into that match in their little segment there that they knew each other well, and they knew how far they could go with each other, and they took liberties with one another because they knew they would be okay with it.
Yep.
And it was gold. It was the best part of the match.
There's someone else who should be in WWE too, who's still in New Japan.
A couple. But just one last thing is like I don't care if it's if it's SummerSlam, great. I don't care, but I wanted it to be at WrestleMania. But those two have to go 1-on-1, and it needs to have the WWE Championship on it. Like I think maybe what you do
1-on-1, yes, but WWE title, I'd say not necessarily. It'd be nice, but it doesn't have to be.
I think they want to have Jinder Mahal hold on to the title for a long, long time.
It doesn't seem that way.
I think they will, but we'll see.
You want me to tell you what the plans allegedly
What's
are?
the current alleged plans?
September.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say
it's a good amount of time.
What I think what you do with this is you have those two interact with one another every once in a while. You have AJ turn the heel because AJ's a great heel, and I don't think you can make Shinsuke a heel. You have AJ cost Shinsuke the Royal Rumble. AJ wins the Royal Rumble, but Shinsuke ends up emerging #1 contender and wins the title from whoever has the championship the month before, and then boom, you're set.
See, one thing, I don't know if they'll do it this year, but I have a feeling that WWE is just like, okay, 1 year we're going to do this. Kevin Owens is going to be WWE champion. Sami Zayn is going to be the underdog from the underground that wins Royal Rumble. And you have Owens versus Zayn for the WWE title at WrestleMania. I don't know if they'll do it this year. I don't think they'll, but I have a feeling they're like, okay, one of these years we're going to do that.
I think that'd be a cool thing to do next year. Have Sami Zayn win the Money in the Bank match next year, if there is one. Or maybe it's 2 years from now. Next time SmackDown gets Money in the Bank match. Have Sami Zayn win it. Have him lose like a lot of big matches in that time. So that way you harper on the fact that he can't win the big one. Then you have him win the Money in the Bank ladder match. Cash in on Kevin Owens right after he like wins the title the event before WrestleMania. So that way he's won the big one. He does it so that way he goes into WrestleMania as the champion. But Kevin Owens comes in and says, you won on a fluke. You really can't win the big one. That's just a paper title on you. And he just destroys and demolishes Zayn for the entire month. So that way you go into WrestleMania. Zayn's the champion, but Owens is the one who looks like the champion. And Zayn's the one, even though he has the champion's advantage, that doesn't have a chance in retaining his title at WrestleMania. Book it.
I still prefer the idea of it being similar to Rey Mysterio, how he was the ultimate underdog, coming out, happening to winning the Royal Rumble, and Kevin Owens going on with like, you're just lucky that you were in the right place at the right time with winning that match. You're lucky you got a late number. I actually earned this title. You are not taking this title away from me. I know you better than anyone. I don't care what you do. This is my title. This is my company. I'm the face of WWE. You need to check yourself because you got lucky to win, and now you're just looking to get destroyed at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
but
that'd work.
Anyway,
moving on from two guys who used to be in New Japan who I felt that should be a part of WWE to two other guys who are in New Japan who I think should be in WWE. I know this happened about a week ago, but I watched this this week. Kenny Omega versus Kuchika Okada 2 was ridiculous. It is one of the best wrestling matches I've ever seen in my life. Like, it is so good. It was I want to say it's better than even Dunn versus Bate. And Dunn versus Bate was good. They went 50-60 minutes. You haven't watched it, so I'm not going to spoil the ending for you. But they went 50-60 minutes, and it told such a good story. I'm going to end up spoiling a little bit of this for you, but they worked in psychology, where Omega worked Okada's leg and worked that in for a long segment, which was great ring storytelling. They worked in the fact that, Omega didn't hit his finisher, the One-Winged Angel, in their first match. So when he finally hit it, there were dubious circumstances and stuff like that. Okada was hitting Rainmakers and stuff. They were going all out to one another. There was one point where Okada had the upper hand and was beating the hell out of Kenny. And it looked like the referee should probably stop the match. And Cody Rhodes comes down with the rest of the Bullet Club while the Young Bucks are with him because they're part of the Elite. It's like a mini faction within the Bullet Club. Mm-hmm. And he has a towel. And there's a good 5-minute segment where Cody is trying to throw the towel or threatening to throw in the towel. And the Young Bucks are telling them to stop. And all the while, Okada just keeps murdering Omega. with move after move. And it was so great because you didn't know, like, is he going to throw in the towel? Will he not throw in the towel?
I love Cody Rhodes.
It was a pure masterpiece of wrestling. Like, I still don't think that Meltzer should be... I think Meltzer has kind of messed himself up by going over the 5-star and doing 6-star stuff, so just want to touch on that. But I understand why he did it. I don't think it should, but 5-star match. Even if you're not a fan of New Japan, even if you only watch WWE, I highly recommend you watch this match. You do not need, like, I don't believe it has the English commentary. I watched with Japanese commentary. You don't need English commentary to tell you what's going on. These two tell the story so well.
If I remember correctly, I think I saw Jim Ross posting something about how it will be coming with English commentary sometime this month.
Okay.
Not entirely sure, but I think.
Watch it. Do yourselves a favor. If you're a fan of WWE or any form of professional wrestling, go watch that match. Mm-hmm. You need to go see that match. So we're going to talk about, we're going to quickly go through the week in review, but first we want to go over our predictions. And we spoke of controversy before. I'm speaking of controversy now.
Yeah, because you're trying to bring up stuff that wouldn't even count.
No, it counts.
No, it does not.
It counts in my mind.
If the match wasn't on the card, it does not count.
All I'm saying is I should have the championship right now, but he's got it off the technicality.
Actually, I have it off of the fact that, as the record states, there was no Breezango versus the Colognes. There were 2 other matches in which, if those had been announced beforehand, I would have had different picks. And the only match that actually happened that we had a difference on, first of all, his contender that he had picked wouldn't have even won anyway. And secondly, the person that was deemed by the referee the winner of the match is the person that I picked. So even if you take that out of account, we are still tied, which means championship advantage. I still hold it.
Let me ask you something. Did you have some McDonald's fries for lunch today? Because just like them, you are covered in salt. Just covered in salt.
I am just sick of people who complain about rules about the Money in the Bank match trying to go past the rules.
Can I speak?
No.
Can I speak my piece?
No. The champion says no, we are moving on
we're not
to Monday Night Raw.
I need to make my point. You didn't even let me make my point. You shut me down before I even said anything.
Because you made your point before the show, and it goes against the rules.
But they didn't hear it. They need to hear both sides of the stories.
Don't.
I will not let you drown out my voice. There are 2 sides to every story, and you're only telling one. Anyway, he said that, there were 2 separate matches involving Breezango and the Colognes. Can you please move that so that way I can speak? You're censoring me. I don't appreciate this.
I have a right to censor because I'm the champ.
All right, Stevie Richards.
Longest reigning.
For now. And technically,
Hashtag
on a technicality,
and
asterisks.
Some of the greatest champions have held the title under asterisks.
Yeah, well, that does make them true champions. Anyway.
Are you saying Ric Flair's not a true champion?
Maybe not all the times.
Nothing to say about that.
Thank you, Big Stupid, for the cheer, for the one bit to give it to you for your salt. To give you a salt shaker for your salt.
Just saying, it gets under my skins when people complain about rules
anyway,
and then try to go past.
Yes, there were 2 matches. That separated the Colognes and Breezango. However, I predicted that Breezango would win their match
against the Colognes.
And you predicted that the Colognes would win their match at Money in the Bank. And that didn't happen. So technically, that's 2 for me and none for you.
No, because, once again, there was Breezango versus the Ascension. If I had known that was a match.
Also,
Mr. I need room to talk. There was Breezango versus the Ascension. If I had known that was the match, I would have picked Breezango because the Ascension sucks and they're always the bitch. And it was the Colognes versus the recently returning Hype Bros, in which if I had known that was the match ahead of time, I would have picked the Hype Bros over the Colognes because they had just made a return. You cannot win by having matches that were not set ahead of time and did not have predictions put on. You cannot win because of that.
Our technicality are based on picking the proper winners. That's the true interpretation of the rule, huh?
No.
Right? No, that is. Just like how the Money in the Bank match.
Okay, so turn your logic up against you. Okay, so you picked one winner, and I picked one winner, so we're tied. So
because
title goes to.
No, because I was right for this. You predicted the Colognes to win their match. I predicted the Colognes to lose their match. I got 2. You got nothing.
No,
and also,
no.
technically,
You
as
did
we
not
so
predict
discussed,
the
Carmella
Colognes-
did not win her Money in the Bank ladder
She
match.
did.
James Ellsworth did.
No, the
I
referee
should be champion, and this is a travesty. Travesty. There goes my pen. There goes my pen. You all know the truth. I got to adjust the camera because I shook the camera. You all know the truth.
Everyone knows he's just a sore loser and can't take the fact that the champion is still here. The champ is here. Hashtag and still. Hashtag longest
championship. Vacate the championship.
Let's move on.
Vacate it.
Sore loser.
Anyway, let's do some quick highlights of Raw, SmackDown, and NXT because we've gone for a long time.
Raw. Things I liked. Not Roman Reigns.
That was dumb.
I liked Samoa Joe. I just don't like the fact that Roman Reigns' announcement is, I am the #1 contender for the Universal Championship.
Because LOL on Roman Reigns.
Exactly. And it's,
Even though we just had this like month-long program.
But seriously, it's...
To just walk out like the Usos. I should walk out. Like the Usos.
Okay, this will be the DMurph show. Go ahead, go. I can handle it from here.
Anyway, we just had this month-long program to determine who the #1 contender was. And then 2 weeks later, Roman Reigns comes back. He's like, I'm back. I'm #1 contender just cause lols.
Yeah. And I also am annoyed about it because his reasoning for it is, I've beaten Seth Rollins. Oh, you mean you beat him once on Monday Night Raw, but when it actually mattered with the title on the line, Seth Rollins beat you. I beat Finn Balor. Yeah, but when it was for the #1 contendership for the Universal Championship, you lost to Finn Balor. So once again, the big match stipulation, you didn't win. And it was these people that he was listing that he beat have, with the exception of Bray Wyatt, those people have also beaten him when there were more stakes.
Yeah.
And it just bothers me because then you point out, well, Finn Balor didn't lose the title. He just had to vacate it due to injury. Why doesn't he, who never got his proper rematch, get a shot at the title?
Yeah, exactly. It was just I'm Roman Reigns. I get the chance. It's exactly what I told you was going to happen. He was just going to come out and announce he was #1 contender for no reason.
It just bothers me that there's no other thing of like, well, like no Kurt Angle coming up being like, well, you can't just announce
you need to earn it.
Yeah, since he made everyone else go to earn it. But
anyway, other things.
Did not like that. I did like Braun Strowman returning.
That was awesome.
And attacking and announcing a ambulance match for Great Balls of Fire of him versus Roman Reigns, which I hope he wins.
I think that should be for the #1 contendership. Hopefully, what they'll do is like maybe next week, like maybe Kurt Angle will get involved and say, you kind of just announced that you were #1 contender, but you didn't earn it. Yeah. So you know what? You versus Braun,
#1 contendership.
And also, Roman said, I don't lose one-on-one matches. The last big one-on-one match he had was against Braun Strowman, which he lost.
Yeah, exactly. He just keeps losing to people, but because whatever. Anyway,
just poking holes in writing. Basically,
another thing that I liked about Monday Night Raw is factions starting to seem to come back.
Yes,
with the Titus brand, I love what they did with him and Akira Tozawa and Neville.
I will say I'm not a big fan of Titus O'Neil in between the ropes.
I'm not a fan of Titus O'Neil, but I love what he's doing right now.
Mouthpiece and like a faction head in that regard, he's gold. He's great. He's perfect. Keep doing that with him.
Yeah, I think the role that he's in now is perfect, where he is a manager, he is trained and can get in the ring and step to people. He might not be that great in the ring, but he has the ability to get physical. Mm-hmm. So if his guys need backup, he could be there for it. I like, though, that he's mostly the talking piece and that he's doing things like, hey, Tozawa, you should join up with me. By the way, I'm getting you a Cruiserweight title match. Why? Because he could piss off Neville enough to make him give Tozawa a title match.
And it's a great way to elevate guys who aren't known for talking.
Exactly.
Apollo Crews and Akira Tozawa are not good on the mic. I mean, Tozawa, I don't know how good his English is, and Crews he has not been able to find a character good enough where he can talk. So you let Titus do the talking for them.
And I also love the idea of if he keeps going to all these different people who are faces, yet he's still kind of a heel and trying to teach them to win by heel standards, and these people winning by being a face. He's like, all right, we're making money anyway. I love the idea of that. Mm-hmm. Of him being a heel manager of an all-face faction. I would love to see that, because he'd be like, well, you could win this way, and like, but we're winning anyway. And he's like, all right, so we're still making money. All right, let's just keep doing it. I'll keep promoting everything. I love that. I love that, and I love the whole entourage.
The entourage thing is great, because Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas are also two good dudes who have not been able to like find anything. You pair him with The Miz, you give him a mean streak, You let him be their enforcers, and it elevates them. It elevates the Miz. It puts him on a whole nother level of heel with that Intercontinental Championship.
I'm kind of hoping that
good
this
idea.
transitions.
Good idea.
I know a lot of people won't agree with this, but I kind of hope that this transitions to Maurice going back off of TV and these two coming in and Miz just coming out with them. Mm-hmm. Because I like Maurice, but all the storylines they've been doing with her, it always bothers me. Like, I hate storylines where it's like, well, this person will do something, but then because they're a woman, the person can't do anything back. Like, that's one of the things that I'm okay with this whole Jinder Mahal thing is the Singh brothers could get in Randy Orton's head, and then Randy Orton can just destroy them, and he'll still lose the match. I like the ability to have that of, well, they could get involved, and they could get hurt, so you still get the satisfaction of the heel, or the face beating down a heel, but then the heel will still get the victory.
Yeah, it adds a new dimension to Miz, it adds a new dimension to that rivalry he has with Dean Ambrose.
And it gives them something to do.
Yeah, and it's good because the Maurice thing, while good, was starting to run a little stale. A little bit. Like, you can just start seeing, like, I don't know how much legs this thing has left, but they came in and they fixed it up by adding Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. And now, hopefully, like, at the end of this, when it's all said and done, either this faction will revitalize their careers or they'll come out of this stable as better superstars and maybe even potential threats for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, I could see Miz using his position as Intercontinental Champion to try and get his two lackeys a tag team championship match. Which, even if they don't win, I just love the idea of doing stuff like that. I love factions working together.
And it replaces Enzo and Cass, which is another thing that we like.
That is the other thing we liked. I mean, I don't like the fact that they're split up, but the promo itself was good. And I like that, you know, tears coming down from Enzo and just the utter look of disbelief on his face. And the line of, Enzo, you are the reason I have never won a championship in WWE. Loved it because, I mean, with the way their storyline has been going basically since NXT, anytime they've lost a title match, it's been Enzo that's eaten the pin. And so it's legitimate. And I love that it's been building for years and he just comes out and says it. I love it.
I love the angle. I'm sad to see them break up because I did love them as a tag team.
Yeah, they were good.
I am worried for what's going to come next with Enzo Amore because Enzo is a great talker. He's got a great personality, great character, but he is not the best in the ring, so I don't think he will survive as a single star. I think you have to pair him with somebody, so I hope things work out for him there. But
let's hope he gets paired up with Titus O'Neil and the rest of the Titus brand.
That'd be cool if he was like the vocal ambassador of the Titus brand or something like that. That would be a good idea. I just hope he finds somewhere safe to go because I'm just worried for him in that fallout. I don't want him to be the Marty Jannetty of this tag team.
Yeah.
Because he is talented. And I am excited to see what happens with Cass going forward because Cass is good. There was a time when Enzo was hurt in NXT and they're building up Cass like he was going to challenge for the NXT Championship and he was looking like gold.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what happens there. Other things that you might have liked on Raw? We talked about Braun Strowman. We talked about The Miz.
Finn Balor was on TV. Not really a big fan of the storyline they did, but he was on TV.
Well, that's cool for Elias Samson.
It's good for Samson.
Because it gives Samson something good, and it elevates Samson. And you know that Balor's going to come out of that rivalry on top, and it gives Balor something to do for the time.
I understand, but it just bothers me of, Balor, we're going to throw you a Samson. Roman, go out there and say you're number one contender. That's about it. Anyway.
And one thing that I didn't like was the Rollins-Wyatt promo.
Yeah,
because Rollins' promo was way out of character.
Yep, and we all know how this is going to end anyway. It's going to be the typical Bray Wyatt ends up losing, and Seth Rollins is going to win. And the reason they're going to have Seth Rollins win is because he's the cover athlete of the game. Yeah. They're not going to announce that he's the cover athlete and then have him lose his first big match.
I mean, who knows? Maybe they will, because God knows Wyatt needs a win. Because right now, all people think about Bray Wyatt is he is all talk and no walk.
Yeah, he should win, but whatever. SmackDown.
I
did not watch. Still protesting.
Ziggler and Nakamura had a good match.
Nice.
Which was pretty good. What else did we see happen? I'm trying to remember. We obviously had they drew out the Money in the Bank stuff pretty much that way. It went almost all night. Where Carmella came off and she cut a really good promo. Had she won this match
legitimately.
Well, I wouldn't say legitimately, but not like through the way they did.
Than that.
Yeah, not with James Ellsworth going and grabbing the briefcase and everything. It would have been great. Because her energy, her fire, her anger, her passion, it was visceral. You could feel it. The only problem is that it also sounded like it was a vehicle for the WWE writers to say, "Screw you for not." Like, I don't want to go out and say it, but I got the sense, and I could be wrong, that it might have been also the writers using Carmella as a vehicle to say, like, screw you guys for thinking this was against the rules and this wasn't right. However, they did continue to backtrack, as at the end of the night, Daniel Bryan eventually stripped the Money in the Bank from Carmella, and they announced that the Money in the Bank is going to happen again next week, which has to be backtracking, in my opinion, because that's a terrible way to book a Money in the Bank ladder match normally, to say, oh, the first one on the pay-per-view doesn't matter, so we're going to put it on SmackDown 2 weeks later to make people watch. Because my reaction as a fan to anything when any show pulls something like that is, no, screw you. You tried to pull a fast one on me and lure me in so that way I could watch, like, stay invested and watch other stuff. I see what you're doing,
the one
and I'm not falling for it.
That I had to pay for, you fucked up. And now you're trying to fool me once, shame on you. Whatever. Fool
me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you.
Exactly.
Or no, it's fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Yeah,
that one. Anyway, so that went down. Kevin Owens came out and you wanted an open challenge with a local competitor. AJ came out and Kevin Owens was like, you're not a local competitor. Then American Alpha's music came in. We finally saw our American Alpha again, and Chad Gable went, well, I just moved here today, so you're wrestling me. So they had a decent match. They did make, like, Kevin Owens won, but, it showed that American Alpha can go individually. And the cool thing about American Alpha is that I love them as a tag team. I don't want to see them break up for a while. I want to see them win the SmackDown Tag Championships again. You got to build them as underdogs, because that's how they really excelled in NXT.
Yeah. I think the best thing to do.
The best thing is that I want to see them together as a tag team for a little while. But I both think they can both, in time, become great main event talent once you break them up.
Only reason why I don't think that will happen is because we've seen Jason Jordan try to go on his own in WWE, in NXT, and they just would not come up with anything for him.
The thing with me
because he's good, but he doesn't have that much charisma.
The thing
Gable
is,
has more charisma. But
can I?
Yes, go ahead.
The problem with Jason Jordan before American Alpha was that you didn't really see his aggression and his he has that, like, the best thing about Jason Jordan is he has that kind of ruthless aggression that Kurt Angle had way back when he was younger. Like, I see Kurt Angle when I look at Jason Jordan. Jason Jordan's strength isn't in his charisma. It's his ability to be like, when I get angry, I'm going to F you up. And there's nothing you can do about it. And I think by letting American Alpha build kind of in the similar way they did in NXT, everybody in the NXT roster will see that. And then that will give that's Jason Jordan's character. I will fire up. I can get down, dirty, aggressive, and angry, and I can beat the living crap out of you. And that's the character you want to give to Jason Jordan when the time is right. And then Chad Gable, he's got the wrestling ability and the charisma.
I understand that. I'm not saying that's the issue. The issue I'm saying is, with them, I get the feeling of, okay, they split you up. All right, what are we going to do next? Creative has nothing for you. But you just did that. Creative has nothing for you.
That's why I said nothing now. I don't want to see them break them up now. Like maybe 2-3 years down the road, you break them up. And then you let them split off and become main event stars. But you want to invest like a good 2 or 3 years into them.
Can I go to NXT now?
I'm trying to make sure there was nothing else on SmackDown. We had a promo with the Usos and the New Day. Standard fare. To let you know that, like, that stuff is still going on. And then we had... Jinder Mahal came. Orton had a little promo, which I didn't really feel, where it was him being like, "Oh, they made it personal by going after my dad and everything," and I'm like, "Yeah, whatever. That's paint by numbers storytelling, if you ask me." Then Mahal came out, ran his mouth. Orton came out, beat up both Singh brothers, and hit RKO on Jinder Mahal. Classic. And just traditional kind
vintage Randy Orton.
Yeah, just traditional wrestling kind of, right, like storytelling and booking. So nothing exceptional. But that was it for SmackDown that I can recall. Not really a great show. Like, it was okay, but the Money in the Bank stuff really brought just had a dark cloud over it all.
NXT was good.
Yeah. You can talk about that because I didn't get to watch that.
I'm trying to remember because I just went over it with you, but I'm already starting to blank. First match on NXT was Ember Moon versus Peyton Royce. They did a good job with that match. Ember Moon ended up coming on top. Then you had
Phrasing.
Then you had Eric Young and Alexander Wolf versus the Ely brothers. Alexander Wolf and Eric Young came out on top in that one. Very
Phrasing
good.
again.
Decent match. You're phrasing. Then you had what was the match after that? You had you had Sonya Deville, who I really like, versus Rachel Evers. Sonya Deville won that match, and they had a little vignette about her. I forget whether it was before or after the match. And I think they might be building her up to be a bigger thing for the Mae Young Classic or something.
Okay.
But I think she's really good. She used to be Daria Baronato.
When does the Mae Young Classic start again?
Sometime next month.
Okay. Cool.
But, I mean, she's really good. I love her work in the ring, and I hope they do more with her. Then they had a little backstage segment that apparently had happened earlier in the day. Backstage at Full Sail University, where Bobby Roode was doing a photo shoot. Roderick Strong walked by. Bobby Roode said some pretty rude stuff to Roderick Strong, and they got in a skerfuffle, and it ended with Roode like going on with like, you want a shot at the champ? I'll defend this title against you anytime, Strong. Blah blah blah. And the main event was one other thing they had a little promo thing backstage between Cassius Ono and Hideo Itami, where Itami basically went and apologized to Ono for how he was acting, and Ono was just like, well, I can understand. I mean, I had a shot for the title and lost as well, but we can't just give up. We have to keep going, and I'm going to do that tonight by winning my match tonight. And he had a match with Aleister Black, which was really good.
I had to watch NXT for that match.
Ono ended up losing in a good way, where he went for that rolling elbow, and he just got caught with the Black Mass in the middle of it.
Black Mass is such a gross and amazing finisher.
It was a good match, and it makes Aleister Black look stronger. Mm-hmm. And I announced that next week is the 400th episode of NXT. So if you don't watch NXT, you're going to want to tune in next week, because the two matches I have announced, Asuka defending her women's championship against Nikki Cross in the first ever last woman standing match. Which I'm sure
Asuka's going to retain, but it'll be a good hard-fought match.
And NXT Championship match, Bobby Roode defending the NXT Championship against Roderick Strong.
And again, I assume
Roode's probably going to
retain, but it's going to be a really good match.
So that was NXT for the week.
And one thing I forgot about SmackDown Live, they had a promo backstage with Naomi and Lana. Lana's getting a rematch for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Fucking do. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Anyway.
Jesus Christ.
I'm just like, I don't need to see any more. I do.
Like, and here I thought we weren't going to get an E next to our thing on iTunes this week.
I'm fucking earning it. And it's all times. But anyway.
We're not going to get monetized on YouTube either this week.
Speaking of NXT, Mauro Ranallo is going to be returning to WWE to be an announcer for NXT.
I'm glad Mauro's still sticking around.
I am so excited for this, because NXT is where he will thrive, and he will do a good job there. The crowd is going to love him. He's going to do a great job on commentary.
Yeah, I'm going to miss him on the main roster. I think it would have been cool if they put him on Raw, but you can't really replace Cole.
Yeah.
And at least he's not on SmackDown. He can be away from JBL.
He could be, but I mean, it's also a matter of, it's a setting that better fits him.
Yeah, I think
it's a better move
overall. I think definitely have him for NXT, and I think any network specials, like the Mae Young Classic, like Cruiserweight, stuff like that, have him on those.
Exactly. So I can only see good things from that. And last thing I'll just say briefly that is unfortunate. Apparently Bray Wyatt's wife has filed for divorce because he has been cheating on her with JoJo, which is rather unfortunate, but nothing we can really do about it. I hope everything goes smoothly and things get better from here, and he learns his lesson from that.
I'm not gonna have any comment on that, just because I don't want to touch on those kinds of subjects when it comes to wrestling.
The main reason I bring it up is because it's an unfortunate thing, and I hope things get resolved quickly. I just feel bad about it.
That's all for WWE news, but we have some WWE gaming news as we transfer over to gaming. Nice way to bridge the gap. As we mentioned on Raw, WWE 2K18 announced their cover athlete for this year's game, and it is Seth Rollins.
Seth freaking Rollins.
And a trailer that was really bizarre.
Yeah, it was just him smashing stuff in the WWE warehouse.
Which wasn't the real WWE warehouse.
Yeah.
Spoilers. I hope you guys didn't think that was the actual warehouse, because I've been to the actual warehouse, and that wasn't the... Well, the exterior shot was the actual warehouse, but everything inside was not what the warehouse looks like. Yeah, just him smashing all these different things, and the tagline is "Be like no one else."
No, it's "Be like no one,"
which
whatever
doesn't entirely fit Rollins, because he was he kind of used Triple H's finisher.
Yeah, but that's his whole thing. He's now his own man, and he is the man, as his promo stated.
It's also just it was also a face wrestler doing a heel thing and destroying the archives of the WWE.
Yeah.
So, but visually it was a cool trailer, and it gets the point across that they're trying to make of "Be like no one."
Yeah. And they also announced that they're coming out with the deluxe edition of the game. The game itself comes out on October 17th. But I did not mention this in our notes here, if you purchase the deluxe edition of the game, you will actually get the game 4 days early.
Yes, that's cool.
Which I'm like, that's kind of cool, but I mean, I don't have money, so we'll see.
And then when it comes to, cover
athletes,
Connor McDavid, the Oilers star captain, and probably I wouldn't say the next Wayne Gretzky, but probably he is probably the successor to Sidney Crosby, he's gonna be the new face of the NHL pretty much. He just won the MVP award. He's the 4th youngest player to win the MVP award. Wow. Ever in history in the NHL. He is the cover athlete for NHL 18. It's coming out September 15th, and the game looks interesting. You know, everybody knows I'm a big hockey fan. I'm actually still reeling and trying to deal and cope with the big Rangers trade that happened today. But this game this year looks like they're going to try and factor on the fact that the game is becoming more about speed and skill. With all these young hot players like Austin Matthews, Connor McDavid, God, why am I blanking on his name from Buffalo?
Chris Jericho.
No, stop it. You just that came so out of left field that I lost my train of thought. I had his name on the tip of my tongue and I just lost it.
You're welcome.
Anyway, all these young players coming into the NHL and their speed and their talent and their ability to avoid physicality, avoid hits and everything, and the fact that enforcers are leaving the game, it's becoming an old thing. So they're embracing more skills. They have a new skill stick it looks like they're gonna have and whatnot.
Sorry, so many young people are leaving Triple H, but go on.
And they're also going to be introducing Jack Eichel. Yes, thank you, Big Stupid. Jack Eichel is
Jack Swagger?
No, stop it. Stop getting your wrestling in my hockey. Jack Eichel is the star from Buffalo. He was picked number 2 overall. McDavid was picked number 1 overall. They both came from the same draft. And another big thing is they're introducing 3-on-3 type hockey, which looks like there's going to be a mode in and of itself. And the EASHL Hockey League, which is a mode you play cooperatively online with friends against other teams, might go to 3v3 as well, which will add for more speed and an arcadey feel, which I'm not sure how I feel about that. The 3-on-3 hockey's cool. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
And that's all the news on NHL 18. We didn't learn anything about a GM mode, if they're going to have be a pro mode return, what Hut's going to be like or anything like that. Hut might get a 3-on-3 mode, so no other details, but some basic stuff about the mechanics and who the cover athlete is and how the cover athlete reflects what they're going for as far as gameplay.
Yeah. I'm not sports, man. I don't do sport.
You don't do sports ball?
I used to do sport, but I don't sport anymore. I sported too much when I was younger, and now I don't sport.
Yay, sports ball. Anyway, it's time for the weekly Overwatch news.
Good amount of news for Overwatch this week,
Seems like there's always news for Overwatch.
I know.
It's become a shtick here.
Well, here's one thing I will point out that they announced a while ago, which is why there's so much Overwatch news. We didn't actually mention it on the show, so I'll mention it now. Thank you for reminding me. Part of the reason why is because Blizzard announced they're not doing any new events throughout the course of this year, so they could focus on other content to bring to the game and bring it more quickly. No, in 2017.
So characters and new maps.
Yeah,
and stuff
new
like
characters, new maps, things like that. They will bring. They won't do any new events, so I'm guessing that means they'll do.
We're not going to get does that mean we're not going to get a holiday and Christmas event?
Those aren't new.
Okay.
So we're going to be getting those events that we've already done before, but we're not going to be getting any.
So much fun.
Yeah, we're going to be getting those. Nothing new. So that way they could, be like, okay, well, we've already got this. We could bring it out at the time, and we could work on creating other new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the new things that they did is this week they have released the new Horizon Lunar Colony map on all systems, PC,
Woo!
Xbox, PS4. I played a good amount of it today. It is so much fun. I actually have played they have an arcade mode that's just 6 versus 6 on that map. I played 9 games. I lost 1. I was kind of upset because if I didn't lose that one, I would have gotten all my free loot boxes for the week. But it is a lot of fun. And unfortunately, the moon gravity area is just one small little area of the map. But
that's understandable because it would totally throw everything off if most of the map was 0 G or moon gravity.
Well, I wouldn't even say most of the map, but I'm saying like if they had a little bit more, I'd be a little happy.
It would be actually kind of funny if the moon gravity was so low. If in that area you had a Pharah and the Pharah tried to launch her boosters and she just floated off.
During one of the skirmishes that I had there, I tried as Junkrat to use the bomb. I jumped, set it off, and there's actually like a ceiling, so you can't go as high as it would let you because I'm pretty sure I would have headed off the moon.
I think that would have been a cool thing to do though. Yeah. Like a nice little touch would have been like if you were Pharah and you rocket jumped, but you rocket jumped too hard or whatever, or you can't rocket jump in that area and you go so far, like you actually die and you watch your character literally float off into space.
Yeah, that'd be pretty funny. But along with that, they also brought some changes to Roadhog, Reaper, and McCree.
Roadhog got the nerf stick hard.
Well, basically what it is the attacks that he does do not do as much damage, but he could do them more quickly. Which I don't really play Roadhog, not my jam, so it doesn't really affect me.
I like Roadhog, so I'm kind of hurt. I liked being able to like hook one shot almost anybody who wasn't a tank.
Yeah, well, they nerfed that because they don't want you to be able to do that because it's basically you have a Roadhog on the other team and anyone that's not a tank is basically screwed.
You just gotta learn to be aware of that Roadhog's there and know to bob and weave his.
I'm not like
practice the 5Ds of dodgeball: dip, dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
I'm not to brag, but I've gotten to the point in Overwatch where, for example, today there was only one match where I did not get at least 3 gold medals.
Wow,
only one, and in that I got all silver medals.
Mm-hmm. Anyway,
but with McCree, they've made it so that way with his ultimate ability, the earlier you use it, the more damage it does.
As opposed to, it used to be later on.
Yeah, so if you wait and you wait and you wait, not only do they have more time to try and kill you, but your ultimate will do less damage. They do that as an incentive because a lot of people wait too long and die, and so their teammates are getting annoyed that, oh, he's going to use his ability. Nope, wait, he was killed before he could use it. So it's more of an incentive to use it earlier so that way you don't waste the ability.
But the problem with that was how long it took for McCree to lock on to somebody. Like, if you wanted people to use that ability later, you should make the lock-on ability a little bit quicker.
I think they may have made it a little bit quicker.
Okay, if they made it a little bit quicker, because then you just take the worst, like his ultimate, which was already seen as pretty bad, and you made it worse.
A lot of people saw it as pretty good because, I mean, you do a good amount of damage to a lot of people in a second. But and then with Reaper, they changed his way of healing, which I actually tried out today, and I actually think I like it better where...
as long as he damages somebody, he gains health?
Yeah, whenever you actually damage someone, you get some kind of health based off of that attack as opposed to having to kill the person and then gain health. Because, I mean, with him... There was a lot of times where you could get killed before you got close enough to even get to someone to kill them. Now with this, you have a little bit more of a chance to get up close where he could do the real damage. And I mean, I played today. It's pretty damn balanced. I was playing at it as him. I had more fun than I've had playing as Reaper in a long time. I think it worked out. Other than that, Blizzard has now signed a deal with Twitch in regards to their esports for Overwatch, StarCraft, and Hearthstone. Don't know exactly what the deal is for, other than bringing their stream service for their esports to Twitch. And out of that, also any Twitch Prime members who have Overwatch will get free loot boxes.
That is big for Twitch because esports is becoming a lot bigger. Like being able to secure the rights to major games and their championships is huge. So that's actually a big get for Twitch and for Amazon as well. And I actually just signed up for my 30-day free trial to Amazon Prime, so that way I could A, not have to pay for 2-day shipping for the new tripod we're getting for the podcast, but B, so that way I could get the golden loot box that comes with Twitch Prime now as part of that deal, which guarantees a legendary. So I've got my code. It also gives me Twitch Prime gear for PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, which I might use for the ski mask because the ski mask they have is really cool.
Yeah, I know on Polygon this week they were joking around about that, about how they were now sponsored by Twitch Prime because everyone that they were playing with had that different stuff.
Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes
on the
was
pants. You have Twitch Prime on your
they
ass.
They had a close-up after Nick died in one of the things where it was just, oh, you like seeing the Twitch logo on my butt there?
But I'm also excited because it looks like there's going to be Hearthstone packs as well, and I'm into I dig that Hearthstone as well.
And the last thing, which I am most excited about, Jeff Kaplan has announced that they are now going to be changing up the way duplicates work with loot boxes, where you now be getting a drastic reduction in number of duplicates you get in loot boxes because so many people were complaining during the anniversary event because there were so many legendary items and people kept getting duplicates. So they're going to be changing it in the future so that way not only will you get less duplicates, not no duplicates because of the fact of there's not infinite items, so eventually you are going to start getting more and more duplicates over time. But it's that way you will get drastically less duplicates, and also you will be getting as much, if not more, currency, because I do not want to screw people over in that regard of what they would get from those duplicates. So you'll be getting as much, if not an increased amount of currency in your loot boxes during that time as well.
Which is good.
Which I am very happy about.
Yes, hallelujah, because, you know, the amount of duplicates you would get, especially when it was like a higher-end item, would just kill your soul.
Yeah, that happened with me the other day with I want to say Reinhardt legendary. I have like 4 or 5 legendary skins for Reinhardt, and I got another one of them the other day. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Especially since you don't get nearly as much as they're worth for currency. Also, Nintendo had a little tweet because someone posted a meme. I just thought it was kind of funny, where they had to specify that Mario does not possess people with his hat. He simply captures them with his hat for the game.
I looked into it, and I think what the mean is that's their marketing phrase for it because it's a pun. Because the character of the hat that Mario wears is an actual sentient hat, like his original form is a top hat, and his name is Cappy.
Yeah. So
Mario doesn't possess them; he captures them with Cappy.
Yep.
So it's not so much them being like, we want to stay away from the word possession. It's
I understand.
No, he captures them because it's funny. You get it? He has a cat, and it's named Cappy, so he captures them. You get it? Are you getting it? It's not possesses, it captures. You get it? You get it?
And speaking of Mario, he was the second most watched trailer. Super Mario Odyssey was the second most watched trailer during E3 this year, beat out only by Star Wars Battlefront 2, but beat him by 3.2 million views.
Yeah.
Which I think partially has to do with the fact that it was so early on in the event that it released, and the fact that they had a long gameplay reveal thing, which I think may have contributed to it. That was a half-hour long.
Plus, it's Star Wars.
Yeah, so
like Star Wars is big. Mario's big, but Star Wars is bigger than Mario. Yeah. It was the number 2 most watched trailer, but it was the 6th most watched game as far as all the content from E3. Like people jumbled together all the views.
Yeah.
Star Wars Battlefront was still number 1. Then it was Assassin's Creed Origins. And then also rounding out the top 10 in no particular order included games like Dragon Ball FighterZ, Anthem. What else were the other big games? I'm drawing a blank on the rest of the big games that came out at E3. FIFA 18 was on there. Just a couple other games.
Yeah, it was Star Wars Battlefront 2, followed by Assassin's Creed Origins, followed by FIFA 18, followed by Call of Duty World War 2, followed by God of War, followed by Super Mario Odyssey, followed by Spider-Man, followed by Anthem, Need for Speed, Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Okay, cool.
And the last bit of news was a very small thing that was said during E3.
Head scratcher.
Atari is making a new console.
Apparently.
And it's going to be based on PC technology. And apparently the small teaser image that was shown of it had like the kind of hard wood on it like the old Atari used to have.
Oh, Jesus.
And a lot of people are thinking that it might be similar to like how Nintendo did the whole NES Classic thing. A lot of people are thinking that.
I don't understand how that would be based off of PC technology, though, because it really wouldn't take a ton of technology to remake those games into a box.
Very odd, but we're gonna have to wait and see.
And the Atari CEO was like, "We're back in the hardware business," and everybody else let out a collective,
"Okay,
why?" I don't understand. Like, there is already so much competition. Like, PC is on the rise, and Xbox and Sony and Nintendo are all battling each other to the death. Like, do we really have room for a fourth console and fifth gaming platform?
Yeah, like that meme I showed you earlier about the Xbox One X. That'll be an issue with another console entering the market of Xbox One X is only $499.99.
Most
but
powerful.
I have $3.
No, it was what was it? It was Xbox One X, the most powerful console ever, for $499. It says, "I'll give you $3."
Yeah, just. That's the issue, is a lot of people don't have the money to get all these consoles. And so people pick one and stick with that, like me with the PS4.
It's interesting. We'll have to see what happens. But I'm kind of, but like I said, like, you're kind of like, why? Like, it's not really the best time for Atari to be doing this. And it's not like Atari has been relevant in gaming for the last, like, 5-10 years. Now. Maybe, but it's just I'm kind of perplexed by it. I'm interested to see what happens, though.
I will be excited when they announce more powerful than the Xbox One X at $199.
that won't happen.
Yeah, it won't happen, but it'd be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in like 20 years. Finally, better than the Xbox One X.
No, please, you will be able to build a console better than the Xbox One X in 5 years. I mean, technically, you can build a better console than an Xbox One X now. It's called a custom PC.
Yep.
But anyway, that's going to do it for episode 12 of the Super Grapple Bros podcast. Thank you all so much for watching. If you're watching this live on Twitch, we appreciate you, just like we appreciate you on all the other avenues that we have. If you're not watching this on Twitch, you can watch us live every Friday on twitch.tv/L_Murpho. We are on demand on YouTube at youtube.com/LMurphoReal. You can also find us on SoundCloud and iTunes if you want to listen to us audioly at Super Grapple Bros. And
make sure you rate, review, and subscribe. It is the only way we can grow our numbers and reach more people.
Yes, especially on iTunes. You don't go up on iTunes unless you get a lot of ratings and reviews. So
yes, that's the only way we could let people know who the real champ is.
Thank you so much for watching. I also just realized that we did not do our universe mode this week. We got so caught up in discussion that we didn't do it.
It's fine.
But yeah, we'll look to hopefully pick up our universe mode next week.
Hopefully, we'll see.
Thank you all so much for watching or listening or checking us out.
And if you have any other questions you would like to ask us and you are not on the stream or cannot watch the stream, go ahead and email us. We are at supergrapplebros@gmail.com. So anything you want to say to us, you want to send us some questions that you want us to possibly answer, you want to just give your little bit of information on something, set up a little dialogue, feel free. We're here. We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. Just email us at supergrapplebros@gmail.com.
Yes. So thank you all again so much for your view or listen. And we will see you all next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Deuces.
Peace.
Deuce, deuce, deuce. Deuce, deuce. On a technicality, should be mine.
Nope.
Controversy. Lots of controversy.
Champ's advantage, at the very least. Very least.
Controversy.
Very least.
Controversy. Rabble.
Bitch.
Shut up and sit down.